obviously a good Bethel team, even though they're in high school. I mean, they only had one loss coming here, and they ran that triple option. What was your takeaway from Saturday?
Defensively, it took a little while to get used to the speed of the triple option. You can't replicate that in practice. And we thought we had the right type of guys in there to try to make it as clean as possible. But, when you can't go through the week cutting, you can't go through the week diving at guys' feet and ankles like they do. And so that doesn't give you the full aspect of it. And they're very good at it. They pull their offensive linemen were way off the ball, just barely legal. When you go against it, you have to be sound. And, there are a couple times where they got a blocker on our pitch man, and a long touchdown, that's what happened. They kind of changed their blocking scheme up and are kind of telling our corners just to sit back and make sure they don't throw it over your head. And the corner didn't come up on a cracker play. So offensively, they did a lot of things. Lining at a 3-3 and just kept blitzing from different spots, and our offensive line was able to maintain their tracks in the run game and block them, and running backs did a good job. And I felt like that if we could block them and Nick could have some time to throw, that we'd be able to show up in a passing game, so we could expose them a little bit, and we did. And got a lot of young guys in the game, and Caleb came in and did well in a backup role, and a lot of the young guys came in and kept that 9 to where it was on defense.
Postseason-wise, obviously not making the playoffs, but if you were offered a bowl, would you accept it?
I don't think we're going to take a bowl game just because, it's been a long year, and when you get to this point, and the guys think that it's over, it's hard to get them back up and do it. And in all honesty, if we could go into it with the same, if we had the NCAA Division I rule where guys could redshirt and we could take a bunch of freshmen and play a lot of different freshmen and not burn their redshirt, I would love to do that. I would love to, because you get the extra, I think you get 7 extra practices, the experience, the travel, but it's just not. It's tough financially to make that trip. It's something we did talk about as a staff, but it's just those guys. Especially those guys those 11 seniors, they play a lot of football, and I think they're happy at 7-4, and we'll go from there.
I know you're not a what-if guy, but there were a couple of close games here and there, and you're in the playoffs. But what will you take from this year into next year that you build off of?
Well, I think that you look at the end of the year, and the first thing you look at is where are we? Okay, we're sitting at 7-4, and then you say, why are we 7-4? I don't think there was a game that we won that I was concerned about us losing. The way we played Midwestern and came back the second half, I felt the momentum coming. And in all honesty, once it was 12-7 and we're down 12-7 against Midwestern, I thought we were going to win that game. But then you go back and look at the what-ifs of how close are we, and that's what I addressed the team this morning was, I can take Western Oregon. We've got a guy that catches an 80-yard pass, and, it should have been an 80-yard pass, and he's wide open the end zone, and he just steps out of bounds. And, you question why. On that drive, we throw a pick, we'd have been up 10 points with 8 minutes to go. Right? Same game, we've got a guy that goes and he's playing the receiver instead of the ball on 4th down. If he plays the ball, he knocks it down, and we get the ball back and can run the clock out. So you look at that game as one. I look at the Mines game, 4th and 1. We get to 4th and 1, and, who knows what happens then. And then I look at Commerce, and, we've got a guy open in the end zone. It's 12-0 at that time. It hits him right in the hands, and he drops it in the back of the end zone, and would have made it 12-7, would have given us momentum. Instead, we kick a field goal, and we give up a long kickoff return, and they kick a field goal after that. So those type of things. And, just the way the Permian Basin game was played, just a cheap type. We bowed down to a certain level, and we can't do that in the future. So, but you got all the what ifs, and everybody can say it. But if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass every time it jumped. So that's how it works.
Are you a believer in strong finishes can carry over to next year? I mean, you guys won 3 straight, won 5 of the last 6 to your season.
I think after the Western Oregon game, we came back 2-3. We challenged our team to be resilient, and we said that in the face of adversity, character reveals itself. And to win 5 of the last 6, I think it shows that. It shows that to our players and to our fans, our coaching staff, who our players are, what they're about. And you could tell that they were. They saw the rankings yesterday and saw how Angelo's the number 2 seed, and we kind of beat them pretty good here. What could have been, so it's just it's a lot of what ifs if you say it that way. But yeah, I think it should carry some momentum. You get into the end of the spring because we'll sit there and say, well, why were we this close and not there? And it's little things, it's little details. It's I told them this morning, we didn't make certain plays. Is it because we took plays off in practice? Because we loafed. We didn't give it 100% every time. We didn't push ourselves the way we're supposed to. And, I think at this time of year, everybody's got to point thumbs and start with themselves. And so it works down, starting with me, working down to all the coaches and then to the players. And I told the players, I said, you have to do that yourself. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, did I do everything possible? Because I said 7-4 is a good record. 7-4 is good, but it's not where we want to be. And the difference between being good and being great is just that little extra. It's that little more something that you got to give in everything you do. So start in the weight room. Start with winter conditioning. Start now. Don't wait and start until summer. Don't wait and start until you show up in August. Because you're going to win a lot of these games throughout winter conditioning, summer, before you even get to August.
Coach, you guys had a lot of local talent, a lot of great talent in this last recruiting class. Does it feel nice to know that you'll have those guys back with a year under their belt this next season?
Yeah, and I'm excited about the young guys we have. Today was a big day for them because they're no longer redshirt or scout team guys. They are going to be able to go and compete for position. And I told the entire team, I said, there's no locked-in position. Everybody's got to come out and compete because we don't want any complacency. If you think you've got a position locked up, you're going to end up losing it. So, but that opens the door for a lot of those young guys and there's some that I felt like we could have gotten out there. But again, you get to a certain point in time in the season, and if you Division II football, they play one play, they're done. They lose the redshirt year. Whereas in Division I, they can play up to 4 games. So, I think that's a rule that we need to get looked at. Make it uniform throughout all the divisions in the NCAA. Just the young guys, I'm looking forward to seeing them and see how they work. Be able to see them more in the weight room than we have this year because they work out while we're in meetings. Coach Kozak has them, but during the winter we're able to go in there after recruiting is done, and we're able to go in there and watch them and see how they do things.
Speaking of this year's recruiting, does a season like this, plus the vibe that was here from the fans throughout the year, you think that's going to help you along the way?
Absolutely. I think this stadium sells itself, and what the other thing I think it sells is the people here at West Texas, not just our players, but the community. When we get our guys here and get recruits in, and we get them out on the town, and we get them around campus, and I think it's a huge selling point just to have the community involvement that we do, utilizing not only this campus, the Ag building and the Student Center and the new buildings, the stadium, but just the community itself, taking them down to the square and eat, things like that really helps sell this program. And 7-4 again, we're not where we want to be, but we're going to go try to get some guys who are going to help us get over this hump.